Welcome, welcome to the Seek Elevation Experience with yours truly, Attorney Keisha. I am an attorney, but I may not be yours. So any information that we may speak about that touches on legal in any capacity is not to give you legal advice, it's to give you legal education. And for you to take that information and do with it what you will. But whatever you do is to help you to elevate. But right here is where real issues and real people and real conversations take center stage. We know that change doesn't happen in silence, it happens with intentional engagement. And that's what we have done this entire third season, bringing our guests on the live stages, and even sometimes it just being you and I. We've talked about elevating information from sports and entertainment to business and community. And here is where we're going to always, no matter if it's on a stage or in general, we're going to elevate voices that need to be heard. And I strongly believe, and I have said this several times throughout the season, I will continue to say it. The time is more now than ever to elevate those voices that are empowering. We don't just talk, we do empower, we do inspire, and we also challenge the status quo. And that's not just those that I bring on stage. It's not just me. It's also those of you who choose to chime in and to engage. We can share whatever is on our hearts and our mind. And whatever our sharing is, I truly believe it is to elevate us as a whole. Today's segment, I'm excited to end this third season with this topic. Very excited. Well, I shouldn't say to end the third season. I'm ending the live stage segment of the third season. Had amazing individuals who graced the stage. And we will now be playing back all of it. Those who were able to attend live, those who I see go back and watch the replay. And we're going to also now spread it out more. Because remember, I always say the more you share, the more you show care, we're going to continue to share. So now I have a team that we're going to take this season. We're going to push, because we need to push this information. There's so much conversation, so much chatter, so much things going on right now, where I don't want us to focus on victimhood. I want us to focus on being a victor without ignoring that there are things that need to be addressed. But I want us to come out on the other end with tools to be able to address them. So this Entrepreneur Edge segment, empowered by knowledge, strengthened by support, that is needed. Entrepreneur, I already defined that earlier in the season, whether you're full-fledged entrepreneur. I know there's some individuals that work and do things on the side. They're just trying to take their talents and gifts and do whatever you like within your capacity to do that. You are an entrepreneur, but conversations are shifting. When we talk about being an entrepreneur, they're shifting. Some realities are hitting hard. Some people are taking offense to how some individuals are advising them on how to deal with their definition of entrepreneurship. Let's take off the defensiveness and let's be open and receptive to whatever is necessary for us to elevate. So what our guest today has amazing credibility. Our guest brings over 25 years of proven success and organizational growth and leadership development, and is just a flat out business strategist, period. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce my guest and then bring my guest on the stage. And my hopes is after we finish our conversation, we can just talk about some strategies, systems, collaborations, whatever is necessary to achieve that strength and support and empowered knowledge. So tonight, I am joined by a powerhouse who doesn't just talk about building businesses. She builds ecosystems that help them thrive, literally. identifies different components and put it together. Just remind me almost like a puzzle. I just started a new love of puzzles. I was very excited, put them together, and then I got overzealous and went out and bought over a 500-piece puzzle of Nina Simone. Beautiful cover. And yeah, that's taken some time. But our powerhouse guest knows how to put these pieces together of more than 500 different pieces. She is a dynamic executive business strategist, like I told you, with over 25 years of experience. 25 years of experience helping organizations grow, helping individuals and organizations scale, and to also lead with clarity. That's where it starts. That may have been my last sentence, but she always helping individuals first to lead with clarity, figuring out what is it that you want, discovering a problem to solve. Word on the street is, and I can't wait to ask her when she comes on, is that this executive director position, I'm told that she's either getting ready to take on or has taken it on with the new SBA Women in Business Center. I want to hear about this because if that is the case, woo, if it's already in play, I know. And if it's going to be in play, yeah, that center definitely is going to change the game for women entrepreneurs with this powerhouse in play. She's definitely a champion at capital access and leadership pipelines. That goes back to the pieces that I was telling you about. And she's on a mission not just to help business owners, but she definitely has a place in her heart to make sure women business owners don't just show up, but take space in so many areas. She definitely understands tech, procurement, wellness. That's her baby. That's what we have conversation on that wellness. And that is the core of everything. Like in our body, we talk about our core got to be together for our whole body to be together. She understands wellness and everything comes out from that, innovation and beyond. But she has definitely led impact-driven collaborations with mega giants like G-Men. That's where we met. That's where we first connected with G-Men, Georgia Micro Enterprise Network, helping so many different companies, finding, again, the right pieces, right individuals, very educational, intelligent, skillful individuals to tap in with these entrepreneurs. Has a program with GoDaddy, IBM, Invest Atlanta, BB&T. I can continue to go. The Kellogg Foundation. But what I will tell you is that whatever she is doing in all those different capacities, she's unlocking real opportunities with measurable results. We have a lot of people talk about what you're doing, what they're doing. But what I can talk about with Sonya is that there are measurable results. And that's one thing she's going to stand 10 toes down. She will give you that sweetest smile, pull you in, her ecosystem, make those connections. But you hear behind that smile, we got to deliver right. And we got to make sure this is tight. So Sonya is that rare blend of strategy, passion, and action. So y'all get ready. I'm bringing her now to the stage to talk about the entrepreneur edge. My guest, Miss Sonya Toomer Bates. Let me add that. How are you? Are you? Let me.
I got.
There you go. I got you. Hello.
Hello. I was like, that's for me. That's all for me.
That's
Wow.
all for you.
Oh, I've been looking forward to this moment. I can say so much about her as well. Flowers for you, Elikisha. You are doing this thing. What an honor to be on here with you today. What
Thank you.
an
But
honor.
the flowers is yours today, and my honor as well. I love that you're topping this off. We selected the perfect date. Um, How has your day been today? Before we even get started, I want to know just how have you been so far today? And then segue into letting people know a little bit, whatever you want them to know about you. I always do the introduction, but I want the person to also speak to the people about themselves as well.
Sure. My day is going well. I started off with my health and wellness. As you already know, that's my baby. So I was up early this morning, as I have been doing every morning for the past 14 weeks, 3 miles a day. Aligning my mind, it gives me that clarity so I can come out and do this work for each and every one of y'all. What I'm
Right.
called to do, I'm ready for it, and it has been a phenomenal health journey as well. So, coming from there, getting ready right on the road, I'm jumping right into it. And I was at a procurement uh, session with some other major leaders throughout the, Georgia, Metro Atlanta. Donald was there and different ones that work in this space. And I said, I wanted to sit at the table on the other side. Usually I'm
Yes.
the one leading and there's my clients. I said, let me sit on the other side and, learn from this perspective so I can continue to bring these things to the table for those that I serve. And with the dynamics of things that are changing uh, so much, we got to kind of stay, you know, um, flexible enough to pivot on a dime. Absolutely. So I'm
Yes.
thankful for doing this work. Again, 25 plus years. I've always had a passion for serving the community, starting in technology, moving on to the nonprofit world where I could really roll up my sleeves and get in the trenches with you guys. That's that part where you talked about that impact. Yeah, yeah. Let's do some real work here, and just understanding the challenges and bringing viable solutions that work for multiple businesses, and that leads into legacy, you know,
Yeah,
generation.
that's my key word. Like we speak that
Yeah.
that legacy, that ownership, that all of that sustainability, because we've been focusing on, just as I started earlier with the introduction, just this word that had at one time point in time motivated us, entrepreneurship, right? And you had so many people just say what it means, and we're
Right.
just excited about it.
Right.
And then when real things hit, when times change, like you said, where you have to be flexible, fluid,
Yes.
you got to be
Fluid.
liquid.
Yeah. How about that?
There is a lot that people are realizing that comes along with that word. And I don't care if it's full-time entrepreneurship or not, but definitely are feeling it full-time entrepreneurship. And some people are kind of pushed into that right now. But before I get too far, you just said something that just had me go. Before I even get there. No, I love how you just said you sat at the other side of the table so you can see from the other side,
Yeah.
right? You always, and that's what I love about it, when those of us who are called to serve in very important capacities,
Hmm.
understanding just that 365,
Hmm.
understanding that, not just preaching something, but being able to teach something
Yeah.
because you are it,
Yeah.
instead of going from it. So I love that you said that. I appreciate that. All right, so now I go back to what I was saying. Um, yeah, so this is a time. So this is what I want to get into, Sign, because we're talking about a time not just for the advice for other entrepreneurs, but just talk about kind of your journey, right? When we're leading people, you see it from all
Angles.
walks, from
Hmm.
entrepreneur, from collaborating with someone else, like you kind of see it. So what I want to, when I dive in, I want to talk about some of those obviously gems and nuggets for entrepreneurs, but let's also talk about an entrepreneur, someone who understands how to make it all work. Entrepreneur, but I also know to collaborate here. I also know to do this. So I want us to kind of cover that as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
Oh
right.
yeah.
So let's just go back. It just in general. And we're thinking about you loving to help individuals with business strategy, entrepreneurship, especially women led ventures. Go back to science to see how we even got here. Let's back up some to your experience.
I would say for me, I was a single mom of three. And I was almost reintroducing myself and trying to determine and find out what it is out of all this education that I got and going to, to IBM and doing the transition into this new space. I found the women in my life being my true tribe. My mom, my grandmother, my aunts, they were resilient. They taught me a lot about what it is to lock in arms and to understand that we can't necessarily, or do we necessarily need to do this alone. So I learned at an early age that it took that village to help shape, develop, and push me forward. And living that example before me. And my father taught me all of the things I think when it comes to that true entrepreneurship from a young age. That's why I think in the generational piece, it starts at home before we actually get out here trying to reprogram and change the mentality of some of those coming forward. As a young person, if you can bring that entrepreneurial spirit into your household in very unique ways, we start to strive with strategy instead of just survival. So it started for me at an early age that I already had this capacity to serve people. And then in turn, learning to lead from the place that I served. So IBM came and started. 5 years later, I was a first line manager over software engineers and developers. Had an amazing mentor who was a VP, who is still my mentor to this day. He's actually just retired from IBM. But for those people to take an opportunity in me to see more in me than I saw in myself, just gave me a fire. And I was able to then take that work, move into nonprofit, and boy, it just opened up. I think the foundational pieces, and I know we're talking about business, but a part of my spiritual upbringing, that community really fed into my love for serving and for community and me as a woman. And so I found out I was a pretty good problem solver, from early on, building out different levels of my business, being able to raise money and to utilize my finances to not only go from no money, but to build my money, and my father taught me the financial literacy of what money really meant and how you can get money to work for you instead of you just working for your money. So there was different people in my life. And that's what I mean by the tribe, by your resources, by your relationships as you're building them. They all are intricate and important in the growth of being successful. So my entrepreneurship, I think, was birthed out of just taking my survival mode and building a strategy that gave me and propelled me into excellence. And I saw the fruits of it. Everything I was able to touch, I watched and saw it grow. And that was more satisfying to me than me getting anything, but I was able to make a difference in somebody else's life, a whole team, a whole organization. It really found purpose. And I think once I got to that point, um, there was really no stopping me. Every time I got to the table, I was ready to to take that solution and push it forward. So entrepreneurship for me was early on, and I'm thankful for the ones that invested in me, knowing that this is the skill I have. How do I now expand on it? And every level gave me another opportunity to see that I was worth something, that I brought something that made a difference for impact.
I want to go back before I even go back to some of the points you make. So when you see me looking down, I am just when you drop gems, I gotta make sure I pick them up. I don't want them to roll all over and then we lose them. So I try to grab them as you throw them down. I'm gonna listen. By the end of season 3, I'm gonna have the biggest, brightest, beautiful diamond. I've been like just getting all these gems. The first thing I want to go back to is when you have started to talk about the spiritual community, and you said, I know we're talking about business, but I always tell individuals, and I want them to hear it here loud and clear, you cannot parse the things out. Okay. So when we're talking about wellness, when we talk about spiritual, we are talking about business. If we're going to talk about any of that, we have to talk about what that means. Now, what someone spiritual may mean is one thing, what someone wellness may mean, but you better find a grounding in it because everything else is reflected from that.
Yeah.
I can tell somebody's groundedness by looking at business, how they're handling it. So
yeah. Yeah.
You don't have to apologize about that. Wherever that finds its way in, let it find its way in. But I want to go back. So you talked about your journey of how you found yourself really into entrepreneurship, but some of the things I heard you mentioning is that dynamic circle of
Mhm.
women.
Mhm.
Then you had your father teach you very, very important concepts that a lot of us do not know, especially in the Black community when it comes to financial
Oh
literacy,
yeah.
because we get finances to your point, survive, not strategize. I mean,
Right.
we're strategizing a survival. Like, listen, no, there's strategy and I'm gonna make this stretch. We can talk about all the S's, but not sustainable is not the S we can really
Not
talk about.
sustainable. Yeah.
So all the other S's, and you mentioned though you had that. So what do we do when we know that is broken, right?
It is.
You
It
were
is.
blessed with a group of women. Some of us may have that, but now we start to narrow down more. You had a father that taught you these things. Some may have that, but we narrow down. So what do we do?
I think that's where people like you and I come. Your podcast is one of those things, how we do that. I think we should live out loud. We should live our gifts out loud. We should be seen as the person that could be the door for someone else. It should, I always say it's bigger than me. No matter what I'm doing or what I'm involved in, it's bigger than me. That means that there's someone else that I need to engage and bring forward in the things that I've learned. I didn't learn this to keep it to myself. This is impossible. I think to multiply what I've done for me and to watch it grow through others, I'm telling you, that's what's most fulfilling. So I think we owe it to the ecosystem you talked about, to the tomorrow we talk about legacy and generational. How is that ever going to touch my kid? I will never just be around my kid always, all the time. But if there is somebody in place that's willing to give back to the community what they've learned, nobody, we do have, but at gatekeeping, I believe in
Yeah.
what I know, you should know.
Yes.
And what I have for me is for me. I don't have to worry about sharing this with you and lacking or missing out. If I can get my sister, or my community to be able to embrace a change of mentality that helps them to learn something they didn't learn prior to, that makes them the better, that trickles down. It starts with this one person, and then all of a sudden we have a community. How are we going to change if we don't start with one? So I think we are a big part of how that changes. What you learned, what resources you have been tapped into, the position you hold, where you are at the table, I think you owe it to someone else to be able to come up behind you. They did it before us. They broke ceilings and barriers and, showed us how it was done, gave us the blueprint for it. So I think for us, that's a part of what we need to do. I have such a passion for that. It's hard for me, Ella Keisha, for me to sit down with somebody and they talk about something. All the solutions are already going through my mind. I'm trying to say, okay, just listen to, just wait, just hold up. But that's a part of like, do this.
Right.
Then come see me next week and let's see what we're talking about then, and they're already moving forward, so I'm glad to have somebody who showed me that kind of passion. Somebody was willing to do that for me. How can I not do that for somebody else? I am unlocking leaders for tomorrow and leaders of today, like right now, so that they can do where I say growth isn't what happens to you, it's what happens through you.
Mm.
So
Mm-hmm.
how are you applying that so you can multiply who you are 10 times fold? I think that's a part of what we do. We're supposed to
Absolutely.
multiply.
And I love that you said that. And that's why I asked that, because we can't choose our family, right? All of us don't have that same dynamic, but we do have opportunity to choose people that we want to bring into our circle. So if we don't have that, to your point, it's individuals that you could bring in. Like, you also had that dynamic, but you also had a mentor. You brought up you had a mentor that helped you at IBM, still was a mentor to this day. So you had this dynamic, but you know, I still need to go outside to have someone mentor me in what I don't have right here.
That's right.
And
That's right.
so for all of us who may not have any of that or most of that, we can seek and find those connections for the people to be mentors of us, sponsors of us, whatever it is to get those things, and vice versa. We can be it. I think a lot of times we'll think, oh, I'm not this person all the way up here, so I can't
That
mentor
confidence.
support.
Yeah.
There's something you know that someone doesn't. There's something you've been through that someone hasn't or is starting to. So, whatever level we're at, the ecosystem, if I'm hearing you correctly, and this is how I tap in, can be connected on whatever level you're at. Connect with
Yeah.
someone, they can help you in a particular area, but you can also help them. You may not have had the family. Is that what I'm hearing
Oh
you
yeah.
say?
Oh yeah. That's how it works. That's how it works. Just like you met the mentor saw something in me I didn't even see in myself at the time that he was building me out.
That
You
that
know,
part,
and because he did, to this day, I'm always saying, listen, I just thank you. He said it was already in you. You know,
that part.
I just tapped
Right
on it.
right now, well, first I want to ask you, so I said this during the introduction, so I'm trying to get clarity. The executive position with SBA, Women's Business Center, what is that? Is that something to come? Something that has come? What is that?
Let me say this: the Women Business Center is for the Southeast Women's Business Center has been active and is in play, and it's been in play since January.
Okay.
We have strong SBA relationships with the dynamics that is changing with the administration. Some of those things have shifted, but it
Yes.
didn't change. That's why relationships are important. This relationship I had with SBA was way before I got it, offered an executive director position.
Can you
I
wait?
already
Can you let the
built
people know, the viewers and listeners know what SBA stand for? Because some may
that.
not know anything, right? So we're going to take it from fresh. So just let them know what SBA and all that stuff stand for.
That is that's a small business administration, federal organization that helps to support and provide for entrepreneurs on all levels in every direction. And that includes funding, training. They have a whole women's led owned division that supports women across the United States. And with that, they help with every aspect from every industry. One of the main things they're focusing on right now is manufacturing. So that is the way that they're moving into in the rural area, which is something that we haven't focused on in a while. That's kind of the target. So for entrepreneurs, there's a wealth of information that is free that they can tap into with SBA. Um, Capital always being one of the challenges for entrepreneurs.
Yes.
They have various significant levels of loans and opportunities for grants. Now, SBA has resources for grants, but SBA does the loans in itself. But I'm telling you, the training is excellent in every area, including procurement, contracts, certifications, um, anything you're trying to build and get certified, licensed, and equipped in, they have a level of training from the experts right there at SBA. So again, that in itself, for the years that I've been even with GMIN for 15 years, it goes all the way back there that we worked and built this relationship with SBA. So we've always been partners. And so with this shift for the Women's Business Center, we went ahead and launched that, and we've been doing the work. I just got back from Washington, D.C. at the Capitol, speaking with those in position at the table, once again, having these same conversations on how we can continue to work together. And there's a lot of it's going to come with collaboration and venture capitalists, not venture capitalists, but joint ventures is going to
Okay.
be the key for us to kind of effectively move forward. No more isolated, scenarios or solo efforts. That's not going to get you where you need to be as an entrepreneur. And some of that is what I mean by shifting and pivoting on a dime. when it becomes very clear the direction it's going in, you still have the skill. You still have the valuable, that confidence we were talking about. You do have something to bring and own the room. Just knowing how to leverage that in the new environment, the new, and understanding what that is, so you can kind of fit that in. So the Women's Business Center, the Southeast Women's Business Center, is strong. One of the things that I was going to is I had a speaking engagement with the Association of Women Business Centers, which is tied directly and supported by SBA. And I was one of their key speakers. So, the work and the collaboration is still happening. I'm the place as far as Southeast in Georgia. Yes. Connect with me, as I am already connected with the resources to still get the work done. No one thing should change or affect your ability to be successful. You should never have that as your main source. Only one thing helps me to build and grow. Anything ever happens to that, you lose everything.
Yes.
So you want to have these various relationships. You want to have, like I say, don't put all your eggs in one basket kind of thing. Something doesn't come through, that doesn't mean your dream dies. You have to continue to be kind of, resourceful around that. So we are 100 speed ahead, ready for people to come on and jump in and do the work with me. Collaboration and partnership is always a key as well. The work still needs to be done, Alokeisha.
That is a big key. And I looked over because someone entered the stage, Iris. I'm not sure who Iris is.
Iris B. She probably clicked one of the links. She's just listening.
Oh, okay. Because I would say, if she wants to, I could bring her on the stage now. Go, but make sure you know her.
Powerhouse too.
I didn't want anybody come in here and be trying to troll you. But if Iris, anytime, I also do that as well for the listeners. Anybody is willing and want to join the stage. I know most people are nervous, so they'll do a lot of typing and sending messages. But if people want to join, they're more than welcome. But you brought up something that is definitely two things: collaboration and training. So I'm going to actually flip these because, like you said, the SBA offers training. And if I heard you correctly, that's something that they offer for free. A lot of things that we need is training. And can you hear me? It seems like you may have frozen. If you can hear me, I'm going to keep talking. So hopefully that you can hear me. Your screen has just frozen. But the SBA offers for free training. And that is something that we need in general for talking about entrepreneurship. We definitely need the training. So my question is, in the training, is there a different type of training, like what your financials need to look like with this? Because I don't, like you mentioned, there's a lot of opportunities, but a lot of times people get shot down from opportunities because you show up with all the amazing service, all the amazing product, but these other things are not lined up. Is that the type of training that the SBA offers? That's the first question. And then I just wanted to bounce off the collaboration. This is the new era of that. If we have not done that, we need to partner up, collaborate more than ever right now. So going to that question of training. There you go.
Yeah, somehow I'm freezing here and there.
Yeah.
I can.
Could you hear me though? When you freeze, can you hear the question that I asked? Okay. So the training, what type of training is available to individuals, and what are some type of training you would suggest for individuals to be interested in?
Can
Nope, you froze again.
you hear me still?
I hear you now. Now you're back on. I hear you. You're going in and out. So I heard you then, but you just went out. And I think it might be because it's freezing. So if you need to go out and come in, you can, if you can hear me. Because I could hear something in the background, but I can't hear you much. And the screen is actually frozen. Yeah, I think so. So try to, if you can hear me, Sonya, just drop and rejoin. It probably would do it. So we'll give her a chance to drop and rejoin. Let me write the question down so I don't forget the type of training that they offer, and what would be suggested. So I'm not sure if most of you guys have heard of SBA, but a very good resource. And it's a resource to help you even learn of more resources. And I will also want to add to that, I think where SBA and other ones come in handy, because I know a lot of people have dealt with different organizations, said, well, I tried this, I tried that. I think it's now time for us to rethink why we are even connecting with organizations like SBA to get the training that I want to get information from Sonya with, and possibly there may be loans, but also like-minded people are showing up, right? So as we're talking about this collaboration, because I have completely leveled up that in my next season, right? I had to level that up. There's a lot more of collaborations I have in the pipeline, because it's just that time to move in that direction and stop being so siloed in what we actually do. And a lot of times we'll hear individuals talking about don't be siloed, meaning don't run your business and not bring on the human resources, the people. But I'm talking about even outside of that, whatever you are doing to level it up, collaborate with other individuals in what you're doing. Can you be a component to what they're doing and vice versa? Start building that way. That is the new era and the next season that we're in with that collaboration. And even outside of offering a component to what somebody else is doing, like literally just component to that mastermind. We have to start collaborating. You may not even do anything at all business wise with each other. You may not collaborate. I offer this product, you offer this, but the intellectual property, find people to collaborate with your intellectual property so we can elevate our intellectual property. We're definitely going to need that. I couldn't wait. I want to ask Sonya about, especially now that we're talking about women and business and women doing stuff. There's so much, and she has the end with meeting, all these political constituents and all that great stuff. What does it really look like for women? We hear a lot that's going on. Is that algorithm? Is that actual? And if it is, what do we do? And not just women. Let's be specific too. It's going on with women. It's going on with people. But there's a lot that I'm hearing that's especially going on with Black women. So I wanted to talk about what that looks like as well. So hopefully she's able to reconnect here soon. And Iris, if you want to come on stage, you can. You don't have to turn your camera on. She said you're also a powerhouse that can add information if you want to. You could type in the comments, sure, and I could add you to the stage. You could keep your camera off because that is impromptu, putting you on a spot. You don't have to turn it on, but you'll be able to come on and keep your camera off and turn your mic on if there's anything that you want to share as well. And those who are listening, if there's anything that you want to share too. Give me 1 second. Okay. Let's see what Tranisha says here. Okay, I've been on a hunt um, to learn more about the sourcing aspect of an online bookstore. I wonder if there's an opportunity to collab on that front. I've been on the hunt to learn more about the sourcing aspect. I'm gonna add her back to the stage. And you are back on. I was
Oh,
reading Trinisha's question. I was trying to see. Let's see. I've been on the hunt to learn more about sourcing aspect of an online bookstore. I wonder if there's an opportunity to collab on that front. Uh, give a little more context to that so
yeah.
she could be able to address that. Is it ability, an opportunity to collab on that front, like whatever you're doing? You're trying to collab with an online bookstore. If there's opportunity there, so add context to that while I go back and refresh Shania on the question. I was talking about the training. Like we mentioned, training is key and collaboration is key. But training, we talked about organizations like SBA. What type of training do they offer, and what type of training do you suggest, especially now being able to reposition ourselves for success now?
Yep. One of the top things that we found was really a concern for businesses. They want to jump right into getting money, getting funding, but not quite sure how to navigate to really maximize that funding. And I've always found that to be very, very key. And so we supplied like technical assistance to anyone that we provide loans or funding to. We want them to build out what their plan is and then how they can really leverage it so that they can see a return on their investment with their time and to scale their business. That's the whole purpose, as well as doing some operational funding. So you want to allocate that correctly. So the training around financial readiness
Mm,
is top. I think that's like the last thing a lot of entrepreneurs want to look at. They want to do the marketing, all the
yes.
bling and great views and how I'm flowing colors and all that's amazing. But if your infrastructure isn't solid or strong enough, a wind could blow and kind of take it all down. Or you don't have the capacity to scale because you didn't build out your infrastructure. So there's training on helping entrepreneurs understand what being financially ready is, that literacy around that. That's your accounting, that's doing those taxes, that's knowing your numbers. um a lot of what you do for legal, how I built out the whole thing with tap 2, it kind of
Yes.
gave that whole full scope of what an entrepreneur needs to be successful. And I know you're saying I'm not really skilled. You don't have to be skilled in all these areas, but you do need to address them. You do need to focus on them and build the capacity in that. One of the things around technology, you know, when it doesn't have the ability for the funding, you have the ability to maximize your capacity. So utilizing technology is going to be key. I know you put in there about AI. I'm big on technology. All things that helps us to automate and work more efficiently, helps us to save both our mindset from burnout and being able to crash in this and not be able to, really move forward to really being very efficient until you're able to kind of build in that. AI is key for that. It's not going anywhere. It may be a really scary thing, but that's some of the training that's about, available. Go in a little bit at a time and put that time in to learn tools, as you said, and resources to help you really work better as a business. So they have those things for both women and entrepreneurs. Um, find out where your weakness. We did a SWOT today, and I've done SWOT 1,000 times. I'll do it again. It's another living document, like a business plan to me. And really knowing where your strengths and weaknesses are,
Yeah.
identify what that is and prioritize, and take some training in the areas where you're weak. You already know your strengths and weaknesses, and that in itself can also tie you into a resource that could be a collaboration, could be an avenue where, and not everything, if I can say this, as you're learning, it's important for you to do, but not everything's going to be free. Not every,
Nothing.
it's some of that's going away. And we want to leverage what's there, take the time to go to these while we have them for your online resources. And just like you get up and eat your breakfast, don't miss your lunch, you want your dinner, put some time in there to educate yourself as an entrepreneur with this training. And it's right on the website. I can also give you some links. We do training as well. We help with other organizations that have training. So we're very tapped into the training that's across the board with so many organizations that are found, providing the training I went today is available. If someone knew about it, maybe they would be in this room with me,
Right.
learning as much as what I'm learning. So, just take some time to really invest in the knowledge of how you're running a business. A lady I spoke to today wants me to, do some strategy and bring her on as a client. And she has a vast number of clients herself, but she never focused on the business side. So now it's catching up to her. So we
No.
got to kind of reverse that. And it can be done. But if we could build that first, the gift is already there. You already know what you're called for. Let's take some time to build the foundation and infrastructure of your business. They have training that helps you with that. Some in person you have to go to, but tap into these things that are already free. We don't even know how long they will be available for you. So I want to provide those links to you, Elakeisha, so you can provide that to your audience.
Absolutely. Um,
Certifications and contracts and procurement, all that's in there. They do all that, helping you with your accounting, the different type of systems. That's another challenge for our entrepreneurs. They're not working efficiently. If you can do this for two business owners or clients that you have, can you do that for 2,000? Can you do that for 20,000? Now you can't, keep up with the scale, and your systems is what's going to help you to do that. So they have training on that, the type of CRMs that you need, what
mm,
type of automations and integrations you have to have, and marketing. They have things on helping you with tips around how to better market yourself and getting, I have my relationship with GoDaddy 8 years, and we've been really trying to get these business owners to have a strong digital footprint. It's important. Do you know what your mission is? Does it speak clearly of what your brand is? You have branded yours really well. I love what you have done, Elakeisha, and you're being consistent with it. And now we're being able to follow a specific brand around your podcast. And when I see that, oh, that's Elakeisha. You know, um, those are the type of things that are available in training for businesses that they need to take the time to. Verizon offers it. Various organizations are providing training for entrepreneurs. So I just need them to take the time to step back a bit and invest in their foundation.
and when they start there, what I was saying when you went off and came back, I was also saying connecting with these organizations. You go in for the training, right? But you're also going in and you're going to surround yourself around like-minded
Oh,
individuals.
that
So
networking.
yes, you walk out with your information, but you will walk out with being able to partner up with those with intellectual property. You
Yes.
guys work on your intellectual properties together. We have to look at, okay, what has not been done or not done enough that needs to be done now or done more in order for us to move forward, because we're seeing all these conversations that come up of how everything is going one direction, but there's so much out there for us to make it go another direction. Start with the training, the network within these organizations that you connect with. Also, you'll learn of new opportunities, right? So you're training, you brought up like the Verizon and all these different things. When you're in the room, you'll be privy to conversations of something else that's next and
Yeah.
something else that's next. And then you can show up there. I wanted to go back to a few things you said and I wrote down, especially when you talked about the SWOT analysis. And I'm gonna tie these other two together. You talked about the SWOT analysis and you talk about the marketing and branding and how individuals focus on that. It is all necessary and it's beautiful, and it is. But when I think about those two things, and the reason why we always go there first and we're missing the infrastructure,
Mm-hmm.
the counting and the money, is because the sensationalism of entrepreneurship, the way that we just thought of just the glitz and glam of it. So we focus on the glitz and glammy part.
Right.
Let's make it look pretty. Let's market, brand, tell
Mhm.
everybody I'm here. And then when we think about the SWOT, we focus on our strengths and
Strength.
opportunities. We just like their
Mhm.
strengths and opportunities, but we don't realize we need to assess what is my weakness?
Yeah.
What are the threats? And the marketing and branding can come, but you put yourself out there to the world. And then when you get what you possibly may ask for, you're not ready for it, and then everything crumble.
There you
So it's
go.
like
There you
some
go.
things have to be done simultaneously. Yes, you can build all these things, have those conversations, but it has to have a house. It has to have that cement for it to be built up. And so I'm happy you brought that up. And that's one of the things I look forward to us changing as we move forward. No, seriously, because I'm so broken of always hearing how we are failing, whether as women or
Right.
as Black people, and then
Right.
it'd be the same thing. It'd be
Same
the
thing.
same disease.
Yeah.
So now
Yeah.
this is a chance for us to go in and put those things together. And then lastly, I wanted to talk about, you brought up, you said numbers and tech. I love that you said you don't have to, and this is why people run away from certain things too. They don't run away from marketing and branding, all that, because they know I don't have to be skilled. I just have to look pretty. But when they think about the other stuff, they think, oh, I have to be skilled in these things. I'm not ready for that yet. No,
Mhm.
when you're not ready is when you should be doing those things. Even if they say, listen, I'm not making much. I'm pulling in probably $1,000. You're preparing yourself. Preparation
Yes.
meets opportunity is
Yeah.
success.
Yeah.
Not opportunity trying to prepare, that's failure. So you want to learn these things. So as the little thousand you may pull in, turn to 10,000. You want to be ready for that. So
Yeah.
go and get this
Yeah.
training with numbers. You don't need to be skilled. And like you said, tech, lastly, like you said, tech, of course it's not going nowhere. We're talking about tech. We're using tech. It hasn't. From the time we stopped going to the
Right.
payphones, from the
Oh yeah.
time we stopped using beepers,
Come on,
okay,
blackberries.
black, we already know where it went. We were all
Oh yeah.
nervous then. After we stopped hearing the dial up,
Oh yeah. How about that?
because I mean, but with all that, we were always scared. And then we get desensitized to it, and we realize it's not something to fear. We just have to learn to not let it control us. We control it. There's
Yeah.
something to fear only if you let it become the thing that is controlling you how to do. But we have to learn, and hence the classes, how to control the things. What do you believe the top barriers, you could say one, two, three, 1 to 5 top barriers that are preventing women from being super, super successful in fulfilling that vision, that dream that they have for their business?
We always know that the top one that's really a challenge for women, and it stays in that capacity. We just have to change how we're approaching um, our funding, our capital, how we're maneuvering financially. We're going to have to take ownership of that and start leading it for ourselves, start undergirding each other when it comes to really being able to financially launch and bring our strengths together, bring our money together, our ability to do that. That is a challenge and has been a challenge for women. I created the Flex Fund with Lisk, with my client, love them, with G-Men for women. That's when I built that. And it has broadened out from that to entrepreneurs across. And we have been doing this for the last 3 years, going on 4 years, identifying, working with businesses, understanding who's ready and who's not, and being able to seed that in and know that that's going to help propel them forward. For women, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. So I wanted to have some, and us not being afraid to collaborate. When you talked about networking, I think a big barrier is how we network.
Mm,
We don't network to pass out cards and to just get on LinkedIn. There's got to be a purpose in it. That's,
yeah.
again, another strategy. Are you utilizing networking as a strategy? Are you just going here to say that I saw someone? Like you said, what am I gaining? If you're going to spend some time with me, let it be about our alignment moving us forward. Let's change how we network so that that can now lead into true collaboration. That's something we don't do. Women need to come together to collaborate, align. That's the next thing, Elokeisha. You're going to have to be able to do that effectively. Come out from behind the chair. Come meet me at the room. Let's get to the table and talk and put some solutions together and know that there is enough out here for all of us. If we kind of let some of those walls we've built down so that we can no longer just be a solopreneur, but really start to scale, being able to hire. Hey, wow, we're more powerful together if you and I partner and see something that aligns between us. Let's take that and move with it, for a season, or, building and giving opportunities to others. So I think that if we could really grab around really coming together as women, it's that tribe I talked about in the beginning. It's important to have that village. Those relationships are what's really moving and helping us to sustain, and to grow, really letting that guard down and that confidence that comes to it. So I say for me, those are the top things that women, if we could just tweak that, all the other things will fall into place.
I agree. I think we're echoing those same things that we see. Does the SBA offer or have a resource that can coach on how to approach sourcing inventory? Like how to approach that. So is that where they're limited just training, or do they go as detailed as helping a company?
They have
Um,
coaches, they've got mentors, and the coaches are the ones that can take in and break down those pieces and help you to build that out. So
mm.
yes, SBA does have that, but other organizations outside of SBA have that as well.
And that's what I was saying. When you connect with these, that's how you start learning. Oh, I learned about this. And there's something else. So it's that starting that connection somewhere opens up. It leads you exactly where you need to go. It's just taking those steps to begin with
Yeah. And
that will start.
the women business centers, there's like I don't even want to quote, there's over 100 plus women business centers. They all have a focus that they each do. They provide training, and that's across the states. That's in almost every state that we currently have. You could potentially find a women's business center to support you. And that is something that they do, grassroots type, take you in and really work with you as a business. I would employ any women business to seek out a women's business center. All of them have training at a
Okay.
very integral level. That part where I say go beyond just getting information. I want application.
Seek out a women business center. And no, I love how you brought that up too when we talked about networking, because that just you got to be intentional about it. Because
You have
I
to.
just started getting turned on. I don't have to show up just to network. It has to be intentional. I could tell from the conversation we're going to have. No, it starts with first identifying where you're going to show up. Don't just say, oh, why does this make sense to you? Like I said, either it's like-minded intellectual property, it's some type of specific information. So know why you're going to show up. That's what I weaned it down to. It's no more just being everywhere. And then when you show up, how are you going to show up?
Be intentional.
Be
Absolutely.
intentional. Yeah, if I'm going to talk to these
Yeah.
individuals,
Be intentional.
how many individuals, and talk about it? Because like you say, you just pass out cards. Some people think, okay, well, if I just pass out cards, sometime I'll get the card or the QR thing, and I'll send you a message of some type of thing. If it's not, I'm the card's going away and I'm deleting whatever, because some people just no, become a professional networker. You're not, it's nothing really
Yes.
coming out.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
I test that, but I can kind of tell when we're already showing up. What is the intention of this? How can I help expose you, help you elevate, and then me too, right? How can we do this together? And I know you mentioned earlier, you have this passion of just helping, and I do too. I have this passion, but I learned in my new season, that intent is still from the heart. But I also do learn of how can that be reciprocated.
Yeah.
We're here to reciprocate for each other.
Yeah.
I am giving and pouring all into you. What can you can reciprocate? How can that look? So we each can keep pouring and filling each other cup going up.
Yeah.
It may look different, but it's something. It's not just one way. Just because
Right.
I love doing something, it's not just one way. Maybe it's testimonials. Maybe it's showing up, whatever it is. How can we keep elevating each other? And we have to have that in our mindset. And that's how I am now. When I pour in, it's because I know we poured into each other.
Yeah.
Hence, even the reason why I even chose 99.9% of you guys that show up on my stage is everyone that we have poured into each other in some capacity.
Yeah.
And that's how we continue to grow.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
how do you help clients move from, oh yeah, you did answer that, the sourcing inventory. How do you help clients move from just having an ideal, like this whole ideal mode, all the way to just executing without
Girl,
feeling so
that-
overwhelmed?
that's a whole nother that's a whole nother podcast
Within itself, right?
within itself. Oh, how can I high level it? I
SWOT,
believe,
that's the first thing.
yeah, there are steps to it. Just like I said, you don't want to jump from here to just, oh, we're just executing, and you've missed all this in between. Knowing the strength. Why are they doing this work? What are you solving? What is this addressing? It has to be something somebody needs for it to be effective. Some people are doing businesses just to be doing them. They're more like hobbies than a real business, and they're not really having the impact that they thought they would, have. With you got, sometimes you just got to tweak it. So we want to talk about, what is it that you want to do, and what problem are you solving with it? From there, what industries are also doing that? We got to now level set and see, who's successful, who's not. What are some of those tips or, best practices that we now can pull in to your business? And we want to timeline that out, where we're not trying to do it all in 30 days. We're going to have to phase this, and then stick to your goals, be consistent with it. But that infrastructure piece, I really mean that. Build that first, understanding what it would take to do what you want to do. Do you even know that? Do you know how much it would cost to do this?
Yeah.
I don't even know. I'm just getting up, just doing it. We don't want to do that. We want to be, and like you said, we want to be even intentional on how we do business, strategic on how we do business. You need to know and be able to tell somebody what it is that you do in a pretty quick time. Those pitches, those financial models, your blueprint. Most business don't even have that. That's why I'm saying they don't quite know. They're just kind of doing what they love and what they think, I'm just really good at this, without kind of sitting back and really planning that thing out. And it helps you to go 2 and 3 and 4, 5 years out and projecting where you want to be. You can always shift and pivot in between, but you got a plan. And those that you want to come on, whether it be that joint venture, whether it be someone investing in your business, or you looking for some type of capital, you don't have a plan. There's nothing kind of giving someone, why I would put my money in here to see a return on the investment. Right. I don't quite know, so from start to finish, we want to kind of build it out, phase it out, and then see the end. And I love to see what the end's going to be and kind of build it slightly backwards, because then we'll know what we need to build out if we know where we're going. What ultimately are you trying to achieve? And if it's just in the next 6 months, what does that look like? So there's so many layers in that, Lakeisha. That was like a powerful question.
But you answered it very streamlined. It is to the point. And I like how you brought up, you look at the end
love to do that.
To dictate the beginning. I mean, you talked about that on your podcast. I said, yeah, that's it. That's exactly how it was in sports as an athlete, right? You look at the finish line, and we have to come all the way back. If you're not crossing at a certain time, or you're hitting the 8th, 9th, and 10th hurdle, you can't fix the 8th, 9th, and 10th hurdle.
Right.
It's happening somewhere else behind. If you're trying to cross the line faster, you can't just cross the line faster.
Right.
It has to happen somewhere back here, or something that you are not doing. So I love that you brought that up, that you go from the end to the beginning. What are some things you do specifically? So outside of SBA, is there anything that Sonya offers specifically on your own to businesses, entrepreneurs? Is there anything you do?
Everything I do, I do.
Everything you do, you do. Everything that you collaborate, which makes sense. Everything you collaborate and partner, and all these people love you and seek you for to help them. They know to tap in on you. You also, you do that.
Yes.
Outside of that, is there so under what umbrella is that?
That is Get Better as One LLC, and I've been in business almost 20 years as an entrepreneur, and was able to scale and grow and really get into the space that I love the most, and that is helping businesses really strategically build, scale, and grow and leave a legacy.
So how do individuals connect with you with Get Better as One, for Get Better as One?
I say, I talk about LinkedIn, but if you're coming on LinkedIn to really tap with me, I need serious inquiries. This is you're ready to go. You're ready to take or even pivot your business. And it doesn't matter the industry to me. Any sector, any business, any industry. And as you already know, if I am anywhere near not knowing, I'm tapped into a resource that does.
Yes. Yes, because the one thing though, regardless of the business, this is one thing I always say on the segment or show in general, especially in the intro, it doesn't matter. Entrepreneurship, entertainment, I said all of it's the same, all the core, the crux.
The core, yes.
Of what we're talking about.
Yes.
Is identical. How you decide to use what we're talking about, leverage the information power, that may look different. That's the same thing we're talking about. Business is so broad. Like, it doesn't matter the business. It's that same thing at the core of whatever you're doing, the foundation, infrastructure, knowing numbers, tech, collaborations, all that. It's all the same. Now, how you want to utilize that and apply that to may be different, but you have to get that. So you're helping them with that core of before you even show up in the space or the room that you want to show up.
And then from there, we can get specific on building out the blueprint.
And so you said LinkedIn would be if for serious inquiries. So right now, even those who don't inquire, where can they just connect to kind of make sure they need to get in that room. They need to feel what's going on. And then those who are serious, do not send a DM until you're saying, listen, I'm ready to have a serious conversation. And I know I need to start at the end to get to the beginning, no matter where you're at in your thing. You could be as a starter, correct? All the way to someone who's been doing, because I clearly hear that you've worked with someone, like you said, who completely scaled up and everything, but you have a lot of clients, but you still had to work with that person to go back and say, yeah, you did these things, but we need to work on infrastructure. So you work on from startup to stardom, or star power, and you go back. So LinkedIn is the best place. That's the best place. Okay. Is there a website as well?
They can go to Bill and Sonya.
Okay. .com.
.org.
.org. Okay. I'm writing all this stuff down here. All right. So out of all the questions that I ask, and the one that you just shared in the end, is there anything that we did not cover that you feel is really important for them to, like, just put that pin in it, take that with you, especially, again, I'm going to say this slow, as we're moving in the direction that we're moving. And I always try to be selective. Not selective. I try to be
As I have.
empathetic on how
Yeah.
I'm saying things, because I recognize it all. And I guess because my mind is so locked into winning that I can't sit in certain thoughts, because my mind is so locked into winning. So I just don't want to always feel dismissive of anything, because believe
Right.
me, please, I recognize. It's just that I'm recognized, and I want us to now take what we recognize and let's do something different. So as we hear all this stuff that's going on, that's affecting certain people in so many ways, what do you want to put that pin in it to elevate?
I really want people to understand that they're not waiting on a breakthrough. They are the breakthrough. You're the answer. We just need you to believe and understand that, and bring your strength, your brilliance, your boldness. I need it at the table. Collectively together, I'm telling you, we're unstoppable. I need them to know that they're the answer. They have a part that's uniquely them that we need. Hone in on that, be confident in it, and bring it to the table. And then we can go from there. We can build from there. But I need you to come on and get to the table. Come on through.
Well, you said it for, because you said you're the answer. That was the best way. I was trying to find the right way to put it without finding, because some people will shut down just because they feel you're preaching or your woes. You're not doing that, but you are finding a way for us. Yeah, we're just actually being captains of our soldiers.
That's
Let's
it.
win this war,
Come
right?
on.
Like, when
Let's
you're in the
go.
war,
Let's go.
they can't roll in things, right? When you're in the war and you're on that battlefield, you got to get your front line. Those who the back. Those who need to prepare in the kitchen. You got to roll everybody up. You don't have time to roll in the
Get in
fear of
place.
anything. So I
Yeah.
guess that's my mindset. So I'm happy you said it. Let us know that you are the. I mean, you know that you are the answer. There's so many problems that's
Yeah.
being thrown out there. We are the answer collectively.
Collectively.
Yes, it may be challenging and super difficult doing it solo, but collectively, now is the time, ladies and gentlemen. Please, now is the time to find who can you connect with in order for me to elevate whatever it is that I'm trying to do. Who is that? So I love
Yeah.
that you put that pin in it. So as we wait, before I wrap up, were you finished with that?
Yes. Yes.
So as we wrap up this powerful conversation, these nuggets, these things that was dropped to you to make the connections. And I don't care what it is that you do, because you never know who's in the room
Yes.
for whatever it is that you do.
Yes.
Show up in these rooms. That business mate, because we know how we say soulmate, that intellectual property IP mate, whoever is waiting for
The room. In the room.
in the room. So a strong business, it doesn't just happen. I love Sonya said it doesn't just happen. Stop waiting on just this, waiting on a breakthrough. Breakthrough happen. If I was to break through this wall, I can't sit here and wait for a breakthrough. Because if this wall break without me doing anything, I think I'm in trouble. Because something must have came through that wall that I shouldn't be sitting here waiting for that wall to break through. A breakthrough is going to come from the action of what I am doing with intention. So we can't wait on a breakthrough. We have to push through, get our breakthrough. And a strong business it happens with intention.
Yes.
And as Sonya said, we have to know not just our SWOT for our business, but we have to know our strengths.
Yep.
We have to own our weaknesses. We have to recognize our opportunities and prepare for the threats for our mindset.
Mhm.
So whether you're leveraging tech, which we're going to have to do, we need to leverage it. There's so many ways it can help. And so I use it.
Yeah, build that capacity.
Build that capacity without burnout. Oh, that's a whole nother podcast. See,
That's
let me
another
back this up, because we're going to talk about capacity, mental health is just a lot that we're seeing. But deepening your understanding, aligning with the right people. It's growth isn't a solo mission. Let's grow this garden together. Collaboration is the new currency. Let's just put it that way. I'm flying to North Carolina this week about that very thing. Collaboration, new currency. It's 100 women decided we're going to get together.
Oh, I love that.
And that was a guest that I had on here too. Talked about it. Boom, said, I'm coming. So see how that reciprocation. Let's go. And it was 100. Collaboration is the new currency.
It is.
Clarity is the compass. So let us all ask ourselves, like, are we building to survive? Are we building to scale? When I say this word scale, it's not just about money. We got to scale our life.
Right.
We have to scale. We have to go up now. I'm tired of this. We've been here so long. James Baldwin said, when is enough is enough. When are we going to stop waiting for all promises from other people? You've been promising my auntie, my uncle, my sister, my brother, my grandfather, my grandma. When is the promises going to stop? When we take accountability.
We show up. That's
when
it.
We show up and we know that we're the answer. So thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in, engaging, and definitely thank you all who add value, just showing up with your presence and listening. Those who are going to come and listen afterwards, I'm telling you, thank you for adding value. Oh, this is going to be pushed. Thank you for adding value by adding your energy of investment, of showing up. But the more you know, the more you grow, the more you share, or the more you learn, the more you earn, the more you share, the more you show care. So don't hold this knowledge to yourself, spread this wisdom, but you sit on it, go back and listen, and make those connections. Get with SBA, other organizations, get with Sonya, and also definitely make sure we're looking at the Get Better as One. Ooh, that's powerful. LLC. You have a gym. I'm telling you all. We didn't even get all the coal off for you to see how this shines. So you have to make that connection. Get on LinkedIn, and you also have the website. All right. So until next time, keep striving, keep growing, and most importantly, keep seeking elevation. And I want to already apologize for those who may be on Instagram. I haven't looked at you. I got so caught up in this conversation. I didn't even look at any comments you may have had. But hey, you can swing over to YouTube and make your comments there, and I will share them with Sonya. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Elakeisha. A pleasure.
All right. Talk to you soon.
See ya.
See ya.